We're back in the shop after the Thanksgiving holiday, and it's cold, and I have a cold. It's been unusually cold here. It's been like in the teens, so everything in the shop is really cold. And hey, I found a use for my foundry that kind of has some insulation here. I'm going to work on this head some more, and I decided that I'm going to try and weld it up myself. So I've cleaned it out, and the way I did that is, you see this Rubbermaid tub over here? I soaked it in water and citric acid, and that neutralizes and cleans out all of the corrosive coolant, and that worked pretty well. And then I rinsed that out and then washed it in some dishwashing liquid, like Palmolive or Dawn or something like that, and it worked pretty well. There's some slight, very, very slight surface rust because I didn't dry it well enough, but everything's frozen. It was really cold out here, so it's been hard to do anything. So like I said, I'm going to attempt to weld the cylinder head myself, and from my understanding, that's not such an easy task, especially since I only have a MIG welder, and I know that normally this is done with TIG. Oh man, don't mind the bags of garbage here. Things have been crazy. So I got a bottle of argon, and that set me back a couple $100. But it's something I've had on the list for so long. So now I finally have one, and I can weld aluminum. Well, someone could weld aluminum with this theoretically. I don't know if it's me. I'll show you my first attempts. Oh yeah, beautiful, huh? This one actually held. I actually did it like a T-joint weld. And this side actually cracked along the weld when we put it in the vise and really pulled on it. But otherwise, I did both sides, and that actually would have held. So, actually, you know, to be honest, I was expecting it to be much harder to even lay a bead, and I'm actually excited that I was able to at least, you know, spray some metal down. I got the settings seem to be tuned in right. Not sure about the big cast aluminum block, because it's basically like, you know, a whole big chunk of aluminum that's going to be a pretty big heat sink. So what I'm going to do is try and warm it up first. And I've got this little heater. I've been keeping this propane bottle under my shirt to warm it up because right now it's too cold to even get any propane out of, so I can't even turn this thing on. But I do have a spool gun. I'm not going to take it out right now because I'm not ready to weld, but down there in that orange box, I've had that for years now. I got a crazy deal on it, and it just sat there and I never did anything with it. So got all the stuff is coming together now, so I thought I'd give it a shot. So I'm warming up the cylinder head, and this may look crazy, but let's see. Oh, almost 90 degrees. Now compare that to another hunk of steel or metal that's 32 degrees. That's 0, right? Celsius? That would be 0 Celsius. Oh yeah. And 31 Celsius. Warmer than room temperature, so it's kind of working. It's taken a really long time, but I thought I'd just get some heat into it so I can not freeze my hands off touching it and moving it around. So let me pull it out and show you what I'm going to do here. Alright, so I don't know if you can tell from last time, it's a hell of a lot cleaner. I I went ahead and scraped the surface with a razor blade and got some of the gunk off, and I wire brushed a little bit of the corrosion out of here, like here. This is the really bad one right here that was causing all of my problems. But if you look over here, this was pretty close to blowing out the side of the head. So I need to get a little bit more of the corrosion out, and from what I understand, cast aluminum is pretty porous, so it probably has some like oil and water and just, you know, crap entrained in the metal here that's gonna make welding it pretty tricky. I think what I'm gonna end up doing probably is I'm gonna MIG it, grind it back out, lay a little bit more, spray a little bit more down, and then just do that. I have no idea. So I wanted to practice, but I don't really have anything this big, so I don't know if it'll be worth my time even practicing on anything, because it's not going to be the same. So maybe I'll get a big chunk of, I got some 6061 extruded stuff, much different than this, of course, but maybe I'll practice on that a little bit before I hit this with the welder. But yeah, so I've got to clean it out. I don't have any carbide burrs or anything. I have this. This is an 1/8 inch end mill, carbide end mill, and that should work, I think, and it should be good for getting, you know, down in these little crevice parts. Again, I didn't want to just go right on here and attack it without practice, but man, let's give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, yeah, that likes to catch, and I'm gonna want a mask here. Oh, what I thought was metal was actually just corrosion. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Ah, man. The last thing I want to do is really gouge out. Well, I guess I'm going to be welding it anyway, but I want to try and not go farther than I mean to. So yeah, it looks like I'm getting down to some shiny metal there. Still got a little bit more corrosion to get out. Yeah, let's do a little bit more. This end mill really catches, and you'd be surprised. I mean, it's only 1/8 of an inch, but it really, it's really got some torque when it catches the metal. Alright, well, you get the idea. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm getting down to some shiny metal there, so now I'm sure that stuff still has impurities and crap in it that's gonna come out when I go and weld it, but who knows? I don't know. Was that the bad one? Yeah, this was the worst one, I think. And it looks like, although it's compromised the sealing surface here, the integrity of the cylinder, the chamber here is still intact. So I'd like to kind of keep that and not break through. And then the other nice thing is that even if my weld doesn't fuse completely, it's going to have this piece back here, and it's going to have a gasket over the top. So my thinking is that as long as I can get a gob of aluminum in there, it's not going to come out. So even if it's not a structurally sound weld, it'll plug up the hole. That's my thinking. But what do I know? So I can take this mask off. All right, well, so that's the plan, and we'll see if any of this was worthwhile in a few days or so, I suppose. So, all right, I'd love to know what you guys think. If this is a ridiculous thing that I'm trying to do, or if I might actually get this fixed. So the plan B is if I totally screw this up, well, it was already screwed up anyway, I'll just buy a aftermarket head. It's like $700 and throw that in. I should be able to get the truck running. But if I can do it in my garage for the cost of a tank of argon, then, you know, I'm ahead of the game. So, all right, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Oh, hit that subscribe button if you want to see how this turns out, and hit the bell. Like this, there's a bell next to it that if you have to press if you want to get notified when new videos come out. So if you're interested, if you want to know how this comes along. All right, we'll see you next time, guys.